Welcome back, everyone. Week 2 of our CAA Men's Basketball Insider. I'm Karlie Smith here with our guy, John Fanta, breaking down all things CAA hoops. John, a very entertaining first week of league play. We know Charleston would be tested. The Cougars go 2-0 to open CAA play, taking down Stony Brook and Hofstra. 17 lead changes in their win against the Seawolves. On Saturday, we saw offensive depth play a key factor in their win against Hofstra on Thursday. 29 bench points for the Cougars compared to the Pride 0. They hit 12 triples in that game. John, why is Charleston so good at gutting out these victories?
Well, they have an elite culture under Pat Kelsey, and they don't care who gets the shine, which leads to offensive balance. I mean, you think about it, Kobe Rogers comes in off the bench for this Charleston team, and he had been in single digits his last 2 games, had one game where he just scored 1 bucket. And in this one, Karlie, he goes 6 for 9 from the floor.
Wow.
He delivered 19 points. He's a 6'3" guard from Cincinnati, Ohio. And he transferred in. He's a Division II transfer from Nova Southeastern. And this is part of what Pat Kelsey has done. He's brought in Division II transfers, hasn't been afraid to take the top of that division. There's a lot of good hoopers at that level, and he's made them Division I hoopers and Division I stars. So to me, Rain Smith is the guy who stirs the drink. He's the tone setter for them. He really makes them go. I love Rain. I love his game. And I just think that this is a team that between Rain Smith and Ante Berzovic, you have 2 of the best players in this league. So when you combine that and then you have a bought-in group that's balanced, you're going to win a lot of games. And they just overwhelmed Stony Brook offensively, outscoring them 55-42 in the second half. CJ Fulton came in. He didn't miss a 3. So they've got shot makers. I mean, it's a make or miss game. And over the last 2 years, College of Charleston's been one of the best shot-making teams in the country. Bryce Butler coming in off the bench and giving 14 points on 6 of 7 from the floor. So they have balance, but their bench is efficient, and they pass up good shots for great ones. And that's shown in the fact that they had 21 assists in the win over Stony Brook. Ante Berzovic had 6 of those assists. They share the basketball at an elite level.
You just mentioned efficiency. I mean, here we go. You told me last week you were on the Rice train. Me too. All aboard. Where's my ticket? Xander Rice dropped 29 points in Monmouth's Monday win over Northeastern. You were on the call for CBS Sports Network. The Hawks now 2-0 in league play. What impresses you about these guys in Jersey?
Tell you what, they defend, and they've got a superstar.
Yeah.
Xander Rice, folks, if you have not watched him, you need to.
Rice. Whoa! You said he was cooking with grease. He's making Taylor ham.
He's one of the shining guards in the sport of college basketball, not just the CAA. I think he's a legit CAA Player of the Year candidate because he's just scoring at another level. 29 points on Monday night against Northeastern. Karlie, he made 9 field goals in the first half. In the first half, he matched his career high for a game. He went 11 for his final 11 from the floor. Started 0 for 1, went 11 for 11 from there. Xander Rice is big time. Jakari Spence gives them a distributor, a really good defender. He makes things happen for them. And I'll tell you what, they were able to clean up in the transfer portal with a guy named Nikita Konstantinovsky, who's helping them in the paint. He was a really good transfer from Tulsa, a great pickup. Abdi Bashir's supplying perimeter shooting. And Jack Collins, to me, is the glue guy. So King Rice, he told me, look, we were picked 11th in this league. Last year, we did not have our best showing in this conference. We at Monmouth took that personally, and now we're out to show people what our program's really about. Karlie Smith, Monmouth is showing it. The Hawks are my CAA dark horse. It's because Xander Rice, to me, is playing as well as anybody in this league right now. He's a microwave shot maker. They're asking him to be more aggressive. That tells me that when you're scoring 29 and you're asked to be more aggressive, they think you can do even more. And the Hawks are 2-0 in the CAA. Now the question is, can they win on the road? That's the big question for this Monmouth team. We're about to find out for the Hawks because they're going to hit the road to take on UNCW Thursday before meeting Charleston on Saturday and then Drexel next Thursday, January the 18th on CBS Sports Network.
Ooh, wow. Fantastic. You talk about taking it personal. Towson after the loss to Monmouth, turns around and defeats UNCW on Saturday with the game winner from the freshman, Tyler Tejada. What do you like about Pat Scarry's crew?
Well, what I like about his crew is that they do know how to respond. And for Tyler Tejada, that's a big moment for him in his career. But I think for Pat Scarry's team, so much of what they do is reliant on Charles Thompson and Christian May. And Thompson goes for 13, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Charles Thompson as a passer he's impressing me. I mean, he impressed me over the weekend against UNCW. But Christian May, they need him to be efficient. He didn't have his best shooting day against UNCW, and they still won. But they went 9 for 18 from 3, and Tejada is the X factor to this team. He shot 3 for 3 from 3. He comes in off the bench and makes all his 3-point attempts. So for me, when I'm looking at what this Towson team can be, they need Tejada's presence. They need him to come in because they're only averaging 6 made threes per game. They're only shooting 31% from 3 on the season. So they need him to step up. They need Nenda Tark, the redshirt junior, to continue to step up. He had 15 points against UNCW. That's the best performance of his season thus far. But that 3-point shooting is really, really important, Karlie. And they've gotten 31 threes out of Christian May, but I don't even think he's fully shot the ball as well as he could have. And Dylan Williamson has shot it not as well as he can either. So for this team, you know what it says to me? The base of Towson basketball is defense. They're going to out-tough you. Pat Scarry's going to make his team. He's going to get his team to just fight you tooth and nail. That's how they play. They're a really tough physical team.
Yeah.
If they can get some shot making, that makes them a contender. They got shot making against UNCW.
You talk about tough defense and then shot making on top of it leads us right into Drexel men's basketball, 3-0 to start league play for the first time since 2006, 2007. They pulled off wins against Hampton, William and Mary, and UNCW last week. The Dragons lead the league in scoring defense and rebounding. You look at Justin Moore, Luke House, Amari Williams. This group is built on so many guys who make an impact in various ways. John, why is this team so dangerous?
Well, they're dangerous because they're one of the best defensive teams in America. They guard you from the start. And now what's happening is they're doing more than just Justin Moore and Amari Williams. Luke House is a veteran who can get hot from 3. Monte Ocruz understands his assignment defensively. He can get going at any given moment. And, he only goes for 4 points in their last game. But Monte Ocruz is a guy, he went for 20 against Hampton. And then against UNCW, Luke House goes for 25 in that game. A huge, huge performance. So what does that say to me? Well, it says to me that you're able to get contributions from different guys from game to game. And I think Zach Spiker said it. Amari Williams is a really talented player. Yeah. But as talented as he is, you've got to then build a supporting cast that benefits off of the amount of defensive attention that Williams gets. So in their last game against William and Mary, Justin Moore scores 22 points, goes 9 for 15 from the floor. Justin Moore is one of the best lead guards in the CAA. So to me, what they've got is they've got a really good rising star as a point guard who they're going to let him play through his mistakes. Yeah. They've got a big man in Amari Williams who's still there. He's a veteran presence. But for me, I think now they're playing more through some shot makers. And I think their shot making in non-conference play was not very good. They were not a good perimeter shooting team, but they still did enough to beat Villanova. You don't just beat Villanova. I don't care how good or bad Villanova is. Villanova's an NCAA tournament team, and Drexel beat them because Drexel out-toughed them. They're using that toughness, but now their wings are playing better. So they've got nice complementary pieces. I'm high on the Dragons. I believe they can win the CAA. I really do.
Wow. High on them too. Week 2, right?
That's right.
7 games at 7 Eastern on Thursday and 5 opportunities to watch CAA basketball on Saturday. John, it's early, but what are you keen in on this week?
Well, I think Stony Brook at Towson on Thursday is a really interesting game. Stony Brook with Tyler Stevenson Moore and Aaron Clark, who I think can get hot in a hurry. Yeah. They're both coming off 21-point performances against Charleston and Keenan Fitzmaurice inside. So for me, Fitzmaurice versus Charles Thompson will be really interesting on Thursday night. I think that's a really interesting game. You're going to have Drexel now hitting the road, going to North Carolina. A&T, how do they handle that? Monmouth at UNCW is interesting because you get Xander Rice and Trezarian White on the floor at the same time. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that matchup goes. And can Monmouth be able to translate this early conference success?
Mhm.
You know, Elon's a team. They do have 4 guys in double figures: Takey Simpkins, Max McKinnon, Rob Higgins, and Nick Dorn. So now the Phoenix, they're also on the road this week at Charleston. If you're gonna compete with Charleston, you've got to have balance. And Elon does have balance. We turn to the weekend, and on Saturday, it's interesting to see Monmouth at Charleston. Again, for Monmouth, another road test. I think Drexel will be in for a test at Elon. Hofstra will take on Campbell, and you know, we can't. The Pride are still going to be there. They're a really good team, and I'm still very high on this Hofstra team, and think that they're going to put together a good week this week. They're at Northeastern Thursday night on CBS Sports Network. Look for the Pride at 1-1 in conference play to maybe get some momentum. They're coming off a win over Delaware. In that win, Tyler Thomas had 22. Darlin Stone Dubar is one of the most improved players in the CAA, and Jaquan Carlos is a really good point guard. So I'll be curious to see what we see from Hofstra this week, going to Northeastern and then off to Bowie's Creek to take on the new CAA member, the Campbell Hamels.
Should be very interesting. John Fanta, you're the best. Thanks for your time. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Karlie. And I do want to remind the CAA fans out there, CBS Sports Network Sunday, Delaware at UNCW. It'll be interesting to see Jair Davis on one side and Trezarian White on the other. And then we do have a special MLK Day game. I'm excited for this. North Carolina A&T and Hampton, 2 terrific HBCUs. MLK night, 9 Eastern time, CBS Sports Network. That will be a really special scene down at Hampton.
That's wonderful. I seriously cannot wait for that. And tune in, go to caasports.com for all the scheduling and viewership information. Thanks as always for your time, Guy. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Karlie.